Hey everybody, welcome to the final part of the Kingda car project. Today I'm just going to wrap up this project, get it finished, and then at the end of this video I have actually just put two POVs of the ride going around just to show you. I didn't want to do like a big cinematic video of this one just because my computer again, doesn't handle these games, these park files quite so well, and so I didn't want to just showcase a laggy video. So I've just added a couple little clips at the end of this one, so if you want to stay around and check that out, stick around. But for now I'm just going to be finishing up the area in front of the station. That includes this shop where you can buy your on-ride photo for when you exit the ride, and also just tying up those paths, adding some foliage, etc. So again, I'm just copying a picture from the real world, some photographs that I've seen, Google Earth, like I always say, and I'm using these as references for these buildings to try and get them as accurate as I can. And then there are these like kind of decoration things that I'm doing now, which are like some wooden, like I think maybe these are ropes, and then there's some wooden beams and things holding them up. So I'm just adding those in. Anything I see, basically I try and add into the build. So that's what I've been doing today. Well, that's what I will be doing today. And today is a lot of kind of tree placing and kind of just doing the kind of floor textures and all that kind of stuff, really to get this to tie in and complete the whole thing. So if you've been with me since the beginning, it's been quite a short recreation, mainly because Kingda car is a very simple layout. It's just a top hat, and it's like a loop kind of circuit. There's nothing really too technical. So the supports for the ride didn't take me long at all, and just the whole area is in this kind of strip of land, so there's not been too much to do, which is why I've actually kind of enjoyed it, because it wasn't like a too big a project. I have actually started another recreation for those of you that enjoy the recreations. I don't know when that will be online because I haven't actually gone back to doing it for a few months now. I started it a couple months ago. I've given it a break, so I will get back to that at some point. But for now, I'm going to continue with my indoor theme park, which I've just started showing you guys. But yeah, this one was quite nice because it wasn't too big of a project to take on, and I did quite enjoy building it. It didn't take too long, and it was really good to try and pack in all those details. The game has a lot of the things that I needed for this recreation, so that was really great as well. Right now I'm actually just doing the path textures, and from above, looking on Google Earth, there are these shapes within the concrete or tarmac used in the pathing for the ride, and there has these dark red and browns. So I've just tried to do that using some path covers. If you use the Shy Guys path covers on top of a normal path, which I've done there in brown, and then I've taken the actual path covers mod, which is very slightly, it sits very slightly above the path covers from Shy Guys, so you're actually able to layer them up without glitching. So I've done that here. So the red circles you can see are from the path covers mod, and the brown ones, like I said, are from the Shy Guys 1 set. So I've just done some custom fences there using the wooden beam from the pillar set, which is actually a vanilla item. Using the Shy Guys 4 rails there to do my railings for the queue line, and then I'm actually going to go in and do the cattle pen part of the queue line in a special way in a second, which is something you would have seen me do before maybe. But I'll get onto that just in a second. I'm just going to complete up this little fence here, which blocks off this area from the queue line. So yeah, I love Kingda car, great ride, very intense, like I said before. I rode it, maybe 7 or 8 times. I found it very intense. It actually gave me a headache on a few of the goes, and I had to take a break from it for a while. It's just, it's a great ride, but it is very intense, so it's not very re-rideable. I do recommend the front row, really great in the front row. You really see yourself going towards that huge top hat, and it is so big. You don't realise how big it is until you're really sat in the train. I did ride it in the back a few times as well, because I like riding the back on coasters, but you get a bit of tail whip, and it's not the most smoothest ride on the back, I must say. So it's definitely a front row ride. So onto the cattle pen part, I'm just using the cobblestones from the Roadworks mod set to cover up the queue path there. I'm not a fan of the in-game queues that much, although with the new DLC you can actually change the textures of them now. So I just added the cobblestones there. Now I'm going to take the half curve wall piece, sink it under the ground to get rid of those unwanted rails from the in-game paths, and then I'm going to take another railing now from the path covers mod. They have some fences in there which are quite nice, so I'm using those to make a real cattle pen style queue line there. So that's that done, which is basically the main part of the queue line for Kingda car, to be honest. You kind of go through that cattle pen, then you work your way down alongside the launch track and into the station. So now I'm just going to go in and do the trees. Again, I'm looking at Google Earth here, just from above, looking at the tree patterns. Obviously, these kind of things change over seasons and through the years. The trees die, or some get removed, or some new ones grow, etc. So I'm just taking like a rough estimate on kind of the trees and where they are. But looking from above, there is this gap in the trees, so I've tried to keep that there. I don't know maybe why there's a gap there. Maybe there was a ride there in the past. I know Rolling Thunder was around this area, but I don't think it went that close to Kingda car. But there is a gap there, so I'm not really quite sure what for, but I've kept it in there just because that's what I see on Google Earth. And that leads me now to do this little maintenance road, which is for the staff members and people to come and do maintenance on the ride. And this actually comes from the car park, I believe, into the park. So I'm just adding that in using some grey terra painting, add a little line on the floor so you can see that it's a road. And then I'm just going to go in and fill up that area now with some foliage. Something I really like to do with foliage is, I've kept it quite simple in this one, but I like to take the dark green terra painting and just go around in circles with my mouse just to add a bit of texture. So I do that as well, just under the trees, just to give the floor a bit of a different look. But now I'm going to take you onto the POV of the coaster, so enjoy it, and I'll see you all next time for another episode. Bye!